Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check these headlines we have for you. Digital Pound Foundation lawsuit from SEC versus Ripple was a weapon. Inflation versus deflation. We're going to hear from Cathie Wood. We got Brad Garlinghouse today. You're going to want every single bit of that. And we're going to talk about Iran, BRICS coalition, Russia, SWIFT, CBDCs, and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen. Everything we're talking about here today. Take a look at the market cap very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. It is $987 billion market cap for crypto, and we're up 1%. Bitcoin right now, 20,900 plus, 1,200 plus for Ethereum. XRP is 34 cents. We're going to take a look at the range of price very quickly. Let's take a look. Right now, ranging between 35, well, we had it here, Fiat Link. I don't know if somebody's out on a smoke break. There they are. Welcome back, everybody. We work 8 hours a day. That's what we do, so show up. No, I'm kidding. I have 5,500 tabs open on my computer right now. That's the problem here. It's not Fiat Links. God bless them. 34 cents on the bottom, 36 on the top. We're at 35 sitting in the middle right now. Glint is a way I love to get my gold. I can buy physically allocated gold, not paper. Physically allocated gold, and I can use it, save it, spend it right on my app that you're looking at with my debit card, my app on my phone. I'm going to top it off again real soon. I absolutely love it for a couple reasons. I love it because I gather gold because I have a huge risk appetite or appetite for risk in crypto, and I'm hedging the inflation that is way out of control and probably won't be in control for quite some time. And you guys have seen the Digital Pound Foundation, and they will be speaking at the Reuters Payment Summit in Europe 2022 on a panel entitled Evaluating the Impact of Central Bank Digital Currencies and Crypto on the Cashless Movement. And look who's going to be there. Glint, baby. That's who. Yeah. Check that link out underneath the video. They're real deal players in this world. Take a look at this. Another real deal player in this world. It's Johnny Deaton, representing over 68,000 of us. That's exactly right. Please tune in and support him today between 2 and 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox Business on Charles Payne's Making Money. We need to show our support by having all of us tune in as much as possible. This is going to really let everyone at Fox know just how important what is happening to all of us really is. And he's going to make the case. I'm not going to go through it here because I've done it before. But if you want to see it, go to my Twitter feed and take a look at it. And shout out to Baba Cugs there. But if you want to see my feed, go take a look at it because I really believe he had it right. It was initially used as a weapon to hold back Ripple and XRP. And I believe the people that did that, some of them were in regulatory positions when it happened. We need an investigation, and we certainly need a level playing field. This here from Gokhshtein Media here says U.S. authorities stopped Alex Mashinsky, the CEO of Celsius, from leaving the country. Uh-oh. I hope that that's not true, but I tell you, we don't know. But I tell you this. To add to that, Goldman Sachs was rumored to be trying to raise $2.2 billion to buy Celsius and had recently said as late as yesterday afternoon that that was actually not so. They were not looking to buy that, which tells me the value of the platform will go down even further, and they'll probably want to pick it up at $1 billion or 1.5. We'll see how it happens. Take a look here. This is Cathie Wood talking about the fact that she thinks that we're already in a recession. I agree with her. And she says inflation has been a bigger problem, but I think it sets us up for deflation. Take a listen.
Cathie, one broader question and then a specific stock question. When you think, though, about the last year and you think about your approach, what is the lesson in it? Meaning, I know you have a North Star about specifically these stocks that you're talking about. But at some level, you have to look around, and I think your investors would want you to look around and say, okay, I was wrong. What was I wrong about? And if I was wrong, how am I going to change my approach in the future?
So if we were wrong on one thing, and that was inflation being as sustained as it has been. Supply chain, I can't believe it's taken more than 2 years. And Russia's invasion of Ukraine, of course, we couldn't have seen that. So inflation has been a bigger problem. But I think that it has set us up for deflation. I've been listening to your program. I heard Ken Langone talk about being in recession now. Jeremy Siegel, same. We think we're in a recession, and we think a really big problem out there is inventories, the likes of the increase of which I've never seen this large in my career. And I've been around for 45 years. And we're talking about the best managed companies in the world. If you're talking about Walmart and Target, they know how to manage supply chains. So if they have problems, we think there are a lot more problems. And then the other thing that's going on is the consumer is railing against these price increases. Consumer sentiment, as measured by the University of Michigan, which we think is the best measure out there, is down to record low levels, below 0809, below 80 and 81. I had just started my career, and inflation and interest rates were in the double digits, 15, 20%. And consumer sentiment today is lower than it was back then. And most interestingly, in the last report, many people think, oh, the heavy spenders will keep this thing going. Consumer sentiment in the highest income groups is lower than in the lowest income groups, and the latter group is being, tormented by food and energy prices, which are really a regressive tax increase here to them.
Fascinating. Separately, Kathy, I wanted to ask you about Robinhood, the speculation around Robinhood.
And we know about that. But now that's her thoughts on what's going on with that. So let's take a look at this. Because as far as goes for FTX and Robinhood, I covered this morning, but very quickly, because this could be big. FTX is looking to bring in fractionalized stocks and the ability to sell stocks to their customers, and buying Robinhood for pennies on the dollar right now. Charles Gasparino says bankers say FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, has long coveted Robinhood. He recently refused to answer questions publicly about Robinhood, fearing to tip his hand. Obstacles to deal financing and price, bankers say, might have to pay $20 a share to convince Robinhood to sell, given the cash on its books. No direct talks now, but don't be surprised if they come when and if the numbers start to work. Bankers say more later today. We could hear about that. This is a period of mergers and acquisitions, and this is also a period of Gary Gensler being caught red-handed with the twisted tongue that he has. Take a listen and let him show it to you.
I think that the laws are pretty clear as laid out. Like Bitcoin, and that's the only one, Jim, I'm going to say, because I'm not going to talk about any one of these tokens. But
would Ripple, for example?
Yeah, Andrew, I know you're going to try that, but we have an enforcement case, and I'm going to leave it at that, Andrew. Well, you can imagine I can't speak to a specific matter, but well, as you can imagine, I'm not going to comment on any one token. I'm not going to comment on any one particular circumstance. So I'm not. Good try. You can try a third and fourth time, but I'm not going to go into any one token. I'm not going to judge any one token. It's facts and circumstances. I'm not going to judge any one token on this open WebEx. I'm not trying to prejudge any one, but many of these tokens have the attributes of securities. Well, I think that as it relates to Bitcoin, and I'm not speaking to all the other tokens right now, but as it relates to Bitcoin, you understand why I'm not going to get into any one company or one token. These tokens, I'm not trying to prejudge any one, but many of these tokens have the attributes of securities. My earlier question, I'm not going to speak to any one matter. And so
Bitcoin and Ether would be certainly commodities, and that's agreed upon. That's agreed with Chairman Gensler as well.
I think we need to have clarity on this. I think you should publicly disclose this. Apparently, there are private conversations where you work with people who are proposing particular structures and you give them advice, or your staff gives them advice. I just think we ought to have that publicly, and we certainly shouldn't be taking enforcement action against somebody without having first provided that clarity.
And there it is, said so well by Senator Pat Toomey right there. And that's exactly the problem. I mean, Gary Gensler has been caught red-handed with a two-faced position on exactly what's going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially Ethereum. And to add to that point, listen to this excellent reminder here from a previous interview with Brad Garlinghouse, where he makes the comparison of Ethereum and Consensus against Ripple and XRP, and that you can't have a different standard for Ethereum and what Consensus did with Ethereum as opposed to Ripple and what they've done with XRP. You can't have it both ways. Take a quick listen here.
But I think it's very clear that when you buy XRP, you're not getting right title ownership or have governance rights over Ripple, the company. These are any more so than you buy ETH. You get ownership over Consensus, a leading company in the Ethereum ecosystem. But I think it's very clear that when you buy XRP, you're not getting right title ownership or have governance rights over Ripple, the company. These are any more so than you buy ETH. You get ownership over Consensus.
And there it is for a second time, just like you don't get ownership of Consensus when you buy Ethereum. And here's a little quick clip from Brad Garlinghouse at a recent conference here. Shout out to Darren Moore for this. And listen to, or originally, and then Riz here. And listen to this. You can watch the whole thing on this clip right here. And I've watched it, and it's a very good talk. But listen to this about transparency equals trust.
I think that the crypto industry, and as Chris was just introducing, many people in the crypto industry try very hard to be very good actors, and they act with transparency. Certainly, Ripple has been publishing quarterly markets reports of how we look at both what's happening at Ripple, what's happening in the XRP ecosystem. We've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. There's never been a demand for us to do that. It's just what we think is the right thing to do to help grow this industry. We've actually also encouraged other crypto participants to act with the same level of transparency, because transparency builds trust. And when we were backstage, we were talking about the value of trust. And I think that those that don't support that transparency are not actually constructive to building these markets in the way that I think is optimal for long-term success. I think it's very important.
Long-term success, and he's absolutely right. But yet somehow Ethereum got a free pass while allowing them to have disguised investors hide their identities while donating money for that first ever original initial coin offering. Not good, people. Not good. Take a look right here. Some more not good is the SEC's expert testimony may be in trouble here. It would seem that the SEC's reaction to attempt to block John Deaton and his Amici status to be involved in the challenge of Duty's evidence and its efforts to cover the flaws in his evidence, that the issue is as vital as the Hinman documents. Whoa! This whole thread is fire, but I'm going to just tell you that is the heart of it right there. This is a legal analyst who's been following this case for quite some time now. Bill Belisarius has incredible perspectives. And to say that this evidence and trying to block John Deaton is really showing that the SEC finds it to be just as powerful as the Hinman documents, that they do not want John Deaton to expose this expert. Really powerful stuff. Here's another thing. Utility matters. Take a quick listen here.
I'll dive in here. Well, first of all, the good news is I very much agree with that. And I have publicly said I think the vast majority of tokens will go away over a period of time, because I can't figure out the utility. There's some that were created a little bit as a satirical, sarcastic. Dogecoin is a clear example of, it was never designed with utility. The founders have left the project. It moves based upon the tweets of Elon Musk. And that would be, to me, the definition of, okay, what is the utility? This is purely speculative. I don't think that's healthy for the crypto market. But then I also think there are tokens where you see lots of interesting entrepreneurs, lots of people taking advantage of, as Chris described, these are revolutionary technologies that can be used to solve real problems. But you're happening in different parts of the ecosystem. And I certainly think what Ripple is doing with XRP, with what other companies are doing with XRP, a open source decentralized digital asset. There's lots of utility, there's lots of use case, and I think you'll continue to see that grow.
And I think you will too, especially when we see the launch of the actual Euro coin, and we already have the USD coin, and factor in the pressure of Iran rolling out the pilot version of their digital dollar. And then we factor in BRICS coalition is getting even bigger as Iran and Argentina have applied to join. Russia speeds up the digital ruble to roll out efforts to overcome SWIFT sanctions. And then SWIFT is enabling cross-border payments as it tests central bank digital currency interoperability, for which we all know you have not solved the problem just to digitize money. You need to have a bridge to settle that different digital money. Otherwise, all you've done is digitize the friction problem with paper money. Take a look at this. And this is one of the key players that is doing this. This is a different segment that I played in the morning video, so don't jump off just yet, because you're going to hear here Jeremy Allaire explain that they are designing this private stablecoin for adoption by the Fed, because every payment innovation for the last 75 years has come from the private sector, and they're about to release the Euro stablecoin this week.
Things. So very clearly, I think Chairman Powell understands that stablecoins are going to grow and are going to be very significant. And I think at the same time, he's making an argument that, you know, the federal government ought to be building technology and potentially releasing technology in the space. Now, I think the really critical thing is every single major payment system innovation of the past almost 75 years has been private sector led. The messaging system of wires, the check clearing system, ATMs, credit cards, debit cards, PayPal, NFC, stablecoins, all these have been private sector led, and they'll continue to be. And so the important thing is that the underlying risk, safety, soundness, and the role of the Fed can be preserved, but the technological innovation cycles are really going to continue to be driven by the open internet and private sector innovation.
Have you met with the Fed or anybody that represents the Fed, and would you like to?
I've had the opportunity to meet with a lot of leaders in the federal government, in the Fed, and other places. I think the Fed is quite open-minded and thoughtful about these issues, and I think the Treasury Department as well. I think, you know, private sector innovation plays a huge role in the financial system. 95% of money issued is issued by private sector institutions.
And I'll end by saying you're launching the Eurocoin, a stable Eurocoin. Tell me how that is going to work. Same way, and how difficult was it to convince the powers that be involving the euro to allow this?
Well, so Eurocoin is being introduced this week. It's a token called EuroC. And it's operating under the same framework that regulates USDC under electronic money transmission statutes. So it's a one-for-one backing held entirely in euro currency within the regulated U.S. banking system. The technology is very similar. It can be used on blockchains and digital wallets and exchanges. And we see huge opportunities for these additional international stablecoins as these crypto markets become kind of FX markets as well.
These crypto markets become FX markets as well. That tells me we are over the target, ladies and gentlemen. They are taking the two most liquid currencies of the world, the euro and the actual US dollar, and digitizing them as private stable coins. I look to see them be adopted in the future, to be officially adopted by the governments alike. And that once they do, you have really digitized the two most liquid currencies of the world in the FX market. And at that point, you can dip into that digital pool and use it for large cross-border payments and settle with a bridge currency like XRP. That's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Things are heating up even when you think they're not. I'll catch all of you on the next one.